Hey, good morning. Welcome to 52 Weeks of Angel Connection. My name is Christy Clemens Hoffman. I am an angel intuitive, medical intuitive, animal communicator, Reiki master, hypnotherapist. I don't know, I do a lot of stuff based in Kansas City, Missouri. And I come to you live from Centered Spirit, where I have a beautiful office I share with Kathy Lesmeister, who is one of my colleagues. All right. Well, good morning. Today's President's Day, 2020. My kid is out of school today, so it's kind of a casual day. We're going to go to an arena, sports arena downtown, and run some track, shoot some hoops. I don't know, do some kind of fun, sporty things with her and her friend. Actually, I'm going to be getting some stuff done at the coffee shop while they're doing that. And I'm doing this series on angel connection. I focus on a different angelic being each week. So far, we've done archangels. Today, Ganesh tapped me on the shoulder and wanted to come and speak. So, Ganesh, if you're not familiar with Ganesh, sometimes called Ganesha, he is a Hindu god. He is the elephant-headed god you may have seen in many depictions. He has the body of a person, a man, and the head of an elephant. The story goes that Ganesha's parents were, I want to say, Shiva and Vishnu. I may have that mythology wrong, but they were gods themselves. And his father left for campaign, left for traveling, left for war, perhaps. I'm not sure why he left, but he left for an extended amount of time. Ganesh, of course, was a normal human boy like any other human boys. And sufficient time had passed where he is now a teenager, a young teen, maybe a preteen. And he had gone with his mother to the river to bathe. So here comes Ganesh's father, tootling back from wherever he had been for many, many years. And he sees his wife bathing naked in the river, and he sees this young man watching her, being with her out there, maybe bathing himself. Got insanely jealous, didn't recognize this kid, of course, didn't even think that it could be his own son. Didn't recognize this kid, flew into a rage and picked up a sword and cut off his head. And the mother said, "Oh my gosh, what did you do? You cut off our son's head. This is our son." He says, "Oh my gosh, my bad." And she said, "Quick, get a head, put another head on." Now, I don't know why they couldn't pick up Ganesh's head and put it back on, but that's not how the story goes. They got an elephant head, chopped the head off of an elephant, and put it on Ganesh's body. And that's how he got his elephant head. Well, Ganesh has gone on to be an ascended master in his own right, a deity in his own right. Ganesh is known as the remover of obstacles. Any obstacle that you feel is standing in your way, Ganesh will help remove that. We can just simply ask him. And so I'll read a little bit more in, of course, Doreen Virtue's book, Archangels and Ascended Masters, about Ganesh, see if there's anything I've left out. I do dearly love this book and dearly love her work. Ganesh. He's Hindu, of course, also known as Ganesha, as I said. He's an elephant-headed deity who removes obstacles for anyone who asks for his help. He's the Hindu god of prosperity and wisdom, who also assists with writing and art projects. Many different stories abound that explain why Ganesh has an elephant head. In most stories, Ganesh lost his head, perhaps because of his father's anger, and Ganesh's mother took the first head that she could find, a baby elephant's, and placed it on her son's neck. So he is the first deity contacted during prayers. It's recommended that you invoke Ganesh prior to conducting a ceremony, engaging in writing, or before any endeavor in which you want to succeed. Of course, he removes all of the obstacles. So if writing, he would remove your writer's block, remove any obstacles to those who would read what you wrote. In any undertaking, removes the obstacles. So he's a good one to have. Ganesh is extremely loving, sweet, polite, and gentle, yet also very strong. He's large enough to blaze trails ahead of you so that your path is clear. But he's also so filled with love and sweetness that you don't have to worry that his brute strength could turn against you. He is analogous to Archangel Michael in that he's a loving and protective force. He's called the remover of obstacles because he mows down any blocks that could stand in his path. So, also, he helps with abundance, artistic projects, household peace and harmony, removing and avoiding obstacles, wisdom, and writing. So, good all around deity to call on. Ganesh tapped me this morning, and I think this just became clear to me why just now. So, just a couple of minutes ago, I did a Facebook Live. I do Facebook Lives Monday through Friday on my page, Angels Guidance with Christy Clemens Hoffman. So hop over there to catch the replay. And the spread that I pulled, I always pulled cards. I do cards on these. Actually, there's a couple of times that I don't, but usually I pull cards and do a little reading for the day, what we need to know. It was all about manifestation. The cards, if memory serves, was asking your angels for help, clear claircognizance, which is the idea just popping into your head. We know about clairvoyance, we know about clairaudience. Claircognizance is an idea popping in your head, and clairsentience is like feelings in your body. So the second card was claircognizance. The third card was manifestation abilities. And then the fourth was Archangel Haniel and working with moon cycles. So I really feel like that entire spread was about manifestation. When we were talking about manifestation, we are talking about clearing the obstacles to what we want. But here's the deal is sometimes we create our own obstacles. We create our own blocks to what we want. And I used the example of a client who came in for QHHT hypnosis therapy, which is past life regression, but also healing hypnosis, extremely healing. And it was not at all what she expected. And afterwards, she said that I wasn't expecting that. That's not really what I came for. I was really hoping that XYZ would happen, but I realize that that is exactly what I needed. So we often will set expectations in our mind that are so high and in such a direction that it's taking us away from what we really need. When we can set it and forget it, when we can have a goal that we're working toward, you know, absolutely invoke Ganesh. Why not? But when we have a goal that we're working for, but we have such a fixed idea of how that has to look, we are blocking ourselves. We're blocking our own manifestation abilities. Absolutely, we want to work toward a goal. So this client did have a goal of starting a healing business for herself, and she had wanted it to look like X, Y, and Z. But holding on to such a rigid view of how it had to look could be blocking her. What I did advise her after the session was every day work a little bit towards your goal. You might find that your goal keeps moving around, and that's fine. That's good. You want that. Because the universe is going to provide the vision that you need rather than the vision you think you want to have. Keep working every day toward that goal. Like one day you set up your Facebook page. Another day you start looking at, what are some platforms that I can use to build my website? Another day you start looking at, well, let's just start pricing some spaces, some healing spaces. And another day you start looking at, well, what are some good companies that I can use to print business cards? And so every day you're working a little bit toward your goal. And in that way, you're making forward progress. You're not doing it all at once. And you're nimble enough to where you can refine your vision as you go. So I believe that's why Ganesh wanted to come in to talk about manifestation, wanted to talk about how we block ourselves, our own obstacles. We create our own obstacles, in other words, create our own obstacles. Many times in readings, Ganesh will come forward and say, you know what? This obstacle that you're seeing, you think it's a mountain. It's like a curb. Just step over the curb. Let's see if he has anything else he'd like to add. And I'm just going to say a little prayer. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And Ganesh is standing right next to Jesus, like shoulder to shoulder with Jesus in my mind's eye. And he's saying that, we're both ascended masters. You don't have to worry about denying Jesus if you invoke me, because we are on the same team and we're made of the same thing. We're basically constructed of the same stuff, and we work in the same types of ways. He said, I'm just as real to those who talk to me as Jesus is to those who talk to him. Um, he says there's nothing wrong with invoking both of us. We can both help. What else is he saying? He says everything that your channel has been telling you is what I would tell you as well, that you sometimes block yourselves. You create in your mind obstacles that are not there or not as high as you think they would be. Don't forget that what he's talking about on the other side, that what we have in mind for you and what you had in mind for yourself before you even incarnated, that is going to be much bigger and much better than you with your conscious mind can design. Just just as you would with a horse, let the horse have its head. Let yourself have your own head. Let us have the reins. When you are riding a horse and you let the horse have it's called having its head. When you let the horse have some slack in the reins and you're not trying to guide it and control it so rigidly, the horse knows the best path down the hill. Sometimes we try to guide a horse down a hill or embankment that the horse knows is not safe, but he's being guided in such a way where he's not allowed to go where he feels that he'd be safe. You definitely want the horse to feel safe if he's carrying you down a steep incline. So I see this point. All right, so Ganesh is just further saying you have your best interest at heart. Your conscious mind has forgotten the plan, but your subconscious remembers the plan and is working closely with us. Let it unfold. You don't have to be so rigid in what you're creating. Let it unfold and watch as the magic unfolds. Oh, he's very pleased with that message. Very pleased with it. All right. And I believe that is the end of his message and transmission. That's a good one. I grew up having horses at my dad's house, and um, sometimes they'll communicate with me in visions or visuals that I would understand and relate to. And we had a lot of kind of hilly, minor hill terrain in Liberty, Missouri. And the message came always from my dad and my stepmom: let the horse have its head. It's going to know exactly where to put its feet. So I think that's a wonderful message. Anyway, that is Ganesh for this week. This angel connection for this week. Next week, I'm not sure who's going to show up. Sometimes I don't know until right before. So I'll see you at this same place around the same time, morning of Monday. And until then, have a wonderful week. Take good care and know that you are very much loved.